Hi guys, welcome to Find Your Superpower, Hack Your Body and Mind to Become Unstoppable. Audrey Meyer here. I'm here with Mandy Napier. Is this how you pronounce Mandy?
Napier.
Okay, I pronounce it the French way.
Yes, absolutely.
How are you, Mandy?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks, Audrey. Really, really good. Really excited.
So happy you're here with us today. It's the beginning of the day for you in Australia. It's the end of the day for me here in the Dominican Republic. So we have just a little time difference, but I'm super excited to have you. So guys, remember, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. There's going to be a lot of information. Mandy is known as the mindset alchemist. I love her story. I love what she's doing. And she's a global mindset peak performance coach, but I'm gonna let her describe her a little bit. So Mandy, can you tell us a little bit about you and your background?
Yeah, sure. Well, as people might pick up from my accent, I'm originally from England and was always an adventurous and sporty girl. So I finally traveled the world, made my way to Australia and stumbled into more sports and the world of triathlons. And I think that's where I got quite a few more lessons about the power of the mindset when I got into ultra distance triathlons. I had a career in sales and leading teams of people. And then, as happens, a lot of things in my life fell apart. And it was that was the beginning of my journey that took me along the world of mindset, personal development, and looking at myself, which was very uncomfortable at first, yet I transformed everything in my life and finally gave up 13 years ago, gave up a great career in the travel industry to set my business up. And I've never looked back. I'm blessed to do what I absolutely love, helping people improve themselves and their lives.
Awesome. Yeah. And you're working with people from all over the world, right?
Yes, yeah, look, just yesterday I was talking to someone in America and a client in the UK, and I have them all over Australia, as well as some local clients. So with this technology, it's fantastic. You know, borders are no barriers in this day and age to make changes.
And I love that, being connected with everybody in the world, right? In Australia now, and in America, in Europe. Mandy, how does it feel to be ahead of everybody? Because you just woke up. For you, it's the beginning of a new day. We're still back. How does it feel?
Well, it's a normal day here. The sun is shining. It's going to be 24 degrees. I live near the ocean, which is my happy place. So we get up and go to the beach, do yoga or run. And then I get on with the day doing what I love. So I've got the whole day ahead of me today.
Love it. Awesome. So Mandy, as a mindset coach, as a mindset specialist, you know that mindset is essential for success. So everybody talks about mindset, but why is it such a growing topic? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Well, I think one of the reasons that it's so important today is, as you know, we're living in rather interesting times. So a lot of people's worlds, they've literally had to pause, freeze, or they've been turned upside down. So right now, people have lost one of our core needs, which is certainty. And when we get thrown out of certainty, we behave in exceptionally strange ways, as I'm sure you've seen some on the media. But what it's also done is people have stopped. And they've realised, because they've slowed down, they've suddenly looked at themselves differently. And they've realised that perhaps I'm the challenge here. Maybe if I got to know myself a little bit more, that would be the key to changing things. And although people read it and we see it everywhere, everything starts in your mind. And as you know, you're an athlete too. On the sporting field, especially in ultra distance sport, it comes down to what's going on here. And I truly learned that many years ago. You know, ultra distance sport, and most sport is 80 to 90% mental. And then I realized it's the same in everything in life. We are sitting on our greatest assets, yet we're not taught at school how and what to use your mind, tools that we're all doing in this amazing summit to hack your brain so that you can actually get around your hard wiring, you know, to keep safe and comfortable. Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember when I was running a marathon just for fun, people told me, oh, you see, at the end, it's all in all in your mind. It's not in your legs. It's all in your mind. Like, you kidding me? I'm going to be training for that. My leg's going to bring me to the end. But it's so true. It's the last couple miles, 2-3 miles. If you don't have your mind set to finish, you're not going to do it, right?
And it's not something you can just tell people to do. You know, you have to train and do it. And when I was on the lava fields, which is one of the toughest races, the Hawaiian Ironman, you know, I'd had a bad day on my bike. The wind nearly blew me off my bike. And I had this big voice that went, you can't do this. I was also not well. And then suddenly it's like, no, it won't work. And I just changed the story in my head. And I really believe that is what got me through that race. So that was such a profound learning for me. So now, yeah, we have to teach people how to get this and how to get that similar experience to tap into something deeper.
Yeah. Earlier when we were talking, you were mentioning 3 essential ingredients for achieving extraordinary, amazing results. So can you tell us, what are they?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there are a lot of ingredients that we need, but what I've done today, I've distilled them into 3 ingredients. And the reason these are super important is that the 3 ingredients also link together our 3 brains. And I know most people have a challenge with the one in the head, the brain, but we have 3 intelligences: the head, the heart, and the gut. So all these 3 ingredients combine all together and align them. When you get that right, magic can happen. So the first ingredient is clarity. And the problem is most people don't really know what they want to do. And the energy of the mind is attention. So where we're putting our focus is what is coming into our reality. So the first step is to get some idea of exactly what you want. And now is such a good time for people to look at, what do they stand for? What is important to them? What do they really want? And then when you've got a picture, because you have to make it in your mind first, you've got an idea, write it down, get a picture in your mind, and then it's super important to connect with your why. The why is the fuel or the emotion from the heart, your reason for doing what you're doing. You know, you sports, you're totally passionate. I'm totally passionate. So people need to find their why, that driving emotion, because that's the fuel that is going to help them get over the speed bumps and the hurdles and avoid being distracted in life. You know, you mentioned it's about mind hacking and brain hacking. Well, we have the potential for getting distracted every 8 seconds. And if we don't have strategies and ways of keeping the focus of our mind on task, our brain loves visual distractions and, you know, keeping an eye out for danger. So it's one of the reasons people often don't achieve their results. So clarity and knowing your why is super, super important, first of all, and making a start.
Great. Yeah. So you were talking clarity. And then what are the 2 others?
Yep. The second one is confidence. Now, when you've got your why, you've got a plan. So you're using your head, and the why is connecting with your heart. The next thing you have to do is, we all know that our beliefs are what stop us. We've probably heard of imposter syndrome, and if we don't feel confident, we won't be able to do what's necessary. So the most important way to get confidence, first and foremost, is to take action. However, some people find that difficult. So I obviously teach my clients how to increase and change the way they feel. But make a plan and take some small steps. If you take that first small step, what happens in sort of helping ourselves is, if you tick off that small action step that you've taken when you've made your plan, you start to build a little bit more certainty, and your brain loves getting goals. So the brain sends a shot of serotonin, so you feel better, which is going to make you feel better. You'll feel more confident, hopefully, to then take another step. So building your confidence, clearing out the beliefs which hold people back, which sometimes needs help with another person, I did many years ago, is important. But that confidence is number 2.
Yeah.
And then the last one that's super important, which is where most people fail and where I spend a lot of my time working, as I'm sure you do too, Audrey, is that magic word, consistency.
Yep.
It's, as you know, it's the biggest reason that people fail. As humans, our brain doesn't care about our success. It wants to keep us safe and happy at all costs. And that's the problem. So as humans, to do things consistently, as athletes know, getting up and training every day at 4 a.m., whether it's raining or it's hot or it's cold, takes discipline and a why. And most people are not plugged into their goals, and they start too big and then it comes too hard and their self-sabotaging patterns come up. So consistency is a super, super important key. So the way to be consistent is to take small steps. And as I said in the confidence, small steps, make a plan, schedule them in your diary, tick them off, and celebrate your wins along the way. It sounds simple, yet it's often where people completely fall down.
Yeah.
And those are the three ingredients, and they're all held together by habits. Habits shape our identity, they run our life. And what a lot of people don't know is not only do we have to make habits of behavior, so if somebody wants to, let's say, run a marathon like we've done, you have to start somewhere. You know, you've got to start small, maybe walking, running once a week, twice a week. And then when you've locked it in, easy and small, then you build the consistency, the intensity, and the duration and the frequency. However, we also have to have habits of thought, because we have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and that's where everything starts. So we need to discipline, understand, and retrain, rehack our brain to have better thoughts that of habit, because as we operate in our life, we fall back into habit 50 to 90% of the day. So if our thoughts aren't serving us, it's hard to be confident and consistent. And then we also need to create habits of state, of how we feel, and we can also do that. So when you combine habits of thought, habits of feeling, and habits of doing, you're connecting your three brains, aligning yourself, and the habits of all those three are the glue that hold those three steps together.
That's amazing information. So I just want to recap a little bit what you went, because there was so much thing you said, which was amazing. And also before doing that, I just want to make sure that you guys, listener, understand that we're not just talking about athletic. Either you want to lose weight, you have a goal, writing a book. I was just coaching someone who wanted to write a book. I mean, if you don't have this clarity, this confidence, and at the end, the consistency, you're not going to lose any pounds. You're not going to finish or write your second chapter in the book. So whatever we're talking here, Mandy and I, we're athletes, we're doing a lot of sport, we're competing in the sport, but it is for everyone in their life, right? In a relationship, in a business. This is tools that Mandy tell us that we can use for anything. So I love what you said about the clarity, being clear, about your goal, confidence, knowing your why, and consistency. And yes, consistency is my favorite word. If we're not consistent in anything, we're not going to achieve anything. So Wendy, when you mention a three brain, the head, the heart, the guts, can you just reframe that? Because we went really quick and I loved it. And there was just so much information. So can you just reframe it and go a little deeper into that?
Yeah, and apologies for going fast.
No worries.
And you're so right. I mean, most of my clients are business people, and we're working on personal habits or professional habits, not so much sports. So I guess one of the greatest things is, how often do people wake up in the morning and they say, oh, I don't feel like going to work? See, we're very much driven by how we feel. So if you think about it, if we can feel inspired, we're going to take action. So good feelings and inspiration actually come from our heart. Our heart is a brain and it has a completely different frequency. So science has shown that the cells in the heart actually have the same componentry, I guess, as brain cells. So the heart is an intelligence on its own, and research has shown that people who think negatively get more heart attacks and die early. And if you listen to what people are talking about, there are expressions that people use. Oh, she wears her heart on her sleeve. You know, oh, I just feel really sad about that or happy about that today. So we often use language that expresses the language of the brain, yeah, or the intelligence. So hence, making sure we feel good and inspired is engaging our heart brain. And very briefly, I've trained in this in ancient Chinese philosophy. The heart is the emperor, and the emperor leads. So we need to lead by the heart. And if you look at management and business these days, a lot of people ruled by fear, which is the head. That's the governor. But now people are opening up and they're becoming a little bit more heart-centered, a bit more compassionate. It's where compassion comes from. And we have to be compassionate to ourselves as well. And then the gut brain, which is now becoming a very important topic, and I think there'll be people on your summit talking about it. The gut brain is actually the seat of our identity. It's where we immobilize the troops to take the action and find the courage to do what's necessary. And in Chinese philosophy, that's the general, so mobilizing the troops. And we use language, oh, it doesn't sit right, it doesn't feel right. I'm so stuck in my head. So we use words that express where the energy is. And a lot of people that want to change habits such as eating are actually working on the wrong brain. They're overthinking it and they're putting, self-medicating with food or drink, but they're working on the wrong intelligence. They need to be working from the heart, not the head. So I don't know whether that explained it a bit, but if we can then make sure that we take action from our why do we want to do it? We have a plan, and we take small steps. It's like a snowball of momentum, and then we have to do some clearing of our patterns along the way.
Great. So Mandy, if you have someone who would like to get started on a journey or have a goal, what would be your first tip that you would give him or her for achieving that goal?
Yeah, well, I think the first step is for people to stop for a few minutes and take a stock take of their current life, because as you've seen, I'm sure, with your clients, Audrey, a lot of people tolerate, and because we're creatures of habit, even though a lot of people are living uncomfortable lives, it's got a certain level of comfort, because any growth and change means we have to step out of our comfort zone, which to our brain is fear, danger. So we have to stop and look at our lives and then really get clear about what we want. So making a plan, getting clear, and it can be just one thing. Getting going on one thing is better than having half a dozen and never getting there. So pick one area that you really want to work on, connect with your why, and then make a plan and keep it simple, and reward yourself along the way and schedule your small action steps. And if you can find someone, share it, and find someone to keep you accountable. It's been proven to help people with their success. And maybe find an expert. I mean, I'm sure you had coaches in your sporting career. I mean, we never achieve our best without the help of other people.
Yeah. I mean, as either athlete, you're not achieving or you're not going on the top by yourself. You need someone that coach you to be able to go there. Even if you have the skills in triathlon, in surfing, kiteboarding, you need a coach. Same in anything in life. I had a business coach, I had coach helping me growing, and that's how we can achieve by having someone who is accountable, and also understanding a why and then going there. And you said something very interesting. I just want to make sure you guys noticed. It's easy step. and one step, one goal. Sometimes people take so many, I want to do that. Oh, 1st of January example, typical. 1st of January, okay, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to do that and that and that and that. Woo! There's so much out there in the universe. Pick one and stick with it, and consistency. Sometimes just like one simple, and sometimes the goal that we fix is way too hard or is just not achievable. So I love what you say, something easy, something achievable, and celebrating. When I do something, I'm doing my dance, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And that's so important, because the person that we have to prove that we can do these things is ourselves. And as humans, you know, we're amazing, but we get in our own way. I do, you know, we all do. So we need to prove to ourselves that we can do what's necessary. So we want to set ourselves up for wins. So make it so easy that you do it, and then you'll be consistent and have great celebrations, because the brain doesn't know whether it's a small goal or a big goal. It will still send you a shot of serotonin. So there are little tips to navigating, you know, these great big lofty goals. And as you say, you know, New Year's resolutions, they have about a 92% failure rate. They just don't work. You'll sabotage them. So start small and celebrate and get a plan.
Exactly. I mean, and I'm not sure if it's an English expression. You're going to tell me. In French, we say Rome wasn't built in one day. Okay, is it an English expression? Yeah.
I'm Italian, but we do use.
Okay, but you understand what I mean. In French, we say that Rome wasn't built in one day, right? They did like one stone and a second stone and a third stone, and then Rome was built. So it's the same with us human. And even if one stone broke, or if we don't put a stone, it's okay as long as we keep building little by little. So small achievement, this is so important.
And it's so difficult because humans want instant gratification. Our brain runs towards pleasure and away from pain. And, you know, if we all think about the goals in the long term, they're so far away, and that's the challenge. It's hard to delay pleasure now for a long-term reward.
Love it. Love it. Love everything you say, Mandy. So I know you have a special gift for the audience. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, to help people get going, you know, we can hear information, but sometimes having a visual of like a cheat sheet. So recently I created a habit creation plan, which is an infographic of the steps to help you achieve a goal, which obviously are made up of habits. So I've got that for everybody. And what I also thought, I've just thought this morning, to sort of combine what I've done with the clarity, confidence and consistency, I also have an action igniter infographic, which is super simple is good, and super helpful to help people stay on track. So I will also add that one in as well once they've got the habit creation plan. So hopefully that'll give them a few tools to get going or stay on track and not wobble too much.
I love it. And we were talking earlier about habits, right? So we're talking about habit of thought and habit of feeling and action. So this tool is a great way to help us be sticking with the habits, right? Which is, again, not just in sport, in anything in life. When you put a goal out there, you want to create those habits.
Yeah, and you know, that's what I spend my days doing with my clients. So I've put this, sort of distilled it all to give people a little bit of a start, but make sure habits of thought, feeling and action are the keys, and consistency.
Love it. Mandy, thank you so much. That was amazing. I wish you a wonderful day. It's just the beginning of the day for you. It's the end of the day for us here. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your knowledge. Guys, thank you so much for following us again today. I will see you tomorrow, and you guys have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mandy. Bye.